Alright, hello folks, this is Kojiro from the YouTube channel GamingAndJapan, and today I wanted to do a video initially about the new Death Note anime Among Us style video game, but after what happened in the United States, I feel like I have to say something. Let me be clear that this is never going to be a political channel in any way, shape, or form, but in moments like this, I feel I have to say something because I am worried about the United States, and I uh, want to say a couple of not exactly encouraging, but rather productive words to the people in the United States because my channel is mainly aimed at English speakers and people in the United States. So you have to bear with me here for a second. Before I begin, I want to clarify something. I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm not a woke person. I'll never be a woke person just by the definition that I'm in Eastern Europe. Like we're the furthest thing from American style wokeism that you can possibly imagine. However, from the American perspective, I'm probably a left leaning, progressive person, but I'm not woke in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so there are three reasons in for which I wanted to talk about the um, results of the American election, the landslide win of Donald Trump in the United States. While I'm having a little bit of a drink here because I want to have a toast in the name of the good people in the United States, but I'm gonna go to that in a second. Um, so there are three reasons that I wanted to do this video, despite of how small my platform here is. The first reason is that although I'm not from the States, I have watched American movies, listened to American music, read a lot of Stephen King, and in dark moments like this, I feel I have the obligation to be as little as possible for a person like me. I want to help somebody or say something that might be of use of somebody in the United States. Mm, the second reason is because I feel like as a foreigner, I have a different perspective that is not encumbered by some of the restraints and the cultural burdens that probably people in the United States have. But I have positive intentions, okay? And the third reason is, guys, because the main thing that I do that's not connected to this channel in any way, shape, or form, but I deal with communities, I deal with influencers and YouTubers and streamers on daily basis. I'm a community influencer manager, and I research a lot of trends on the internet that are connected to content and how people react to it. Granted, this is in the field of video games, but I feel like I can make the correct point here and transition to uh, from video games to politics in a way that is going to make sense for you in a couple of minutes. So please bear with me here as I am going to explain to you what I mean. Mm, this is a Greek wine called White Soul, by the way. Um, so look, guys, Donald Trump won a landslide victory, and he has been a figure in the American political life for more than 8 years at this point. And since the main opposition to the right wing and to Trumpism in the United States have been for many years now the left wing online media, um, I feel like this defeat of the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris has to be taken with the correct um, with the correct assumptions of what has happened so far and what needs to happen forward. And one of these realities that people have to accept is that left wing online media is just not effective in making people on the other side hear what they have to say, hear their arguments, and accept their opinions and change their opinions. Okay. The Young Turks, for example, have been covering Trump for a lot of years, ever since the start of his campaign in 2015. They have covered all his presidency from 2016 up to 2020, the insurrection, all of his criminal charges, and all of his transgressions afterwards. Now we had Kamala Harris as a candidate for 3 months, and now Trump has won in a landslide victory. That's not only the Young Turks, also Kyle Kulinski, who I like a lot from Secular Talk. I like Kyle Kulinski a lot. Shout outs to Kyle Kulinski. David Pacman, who I cannot stand. The Ring of Fire, Destiny, Hassan, and all of the other the people like Luke Bleasley or whatever his name is. But although a lot of these people gain a lot of views, subscribers, and support, it is apparent now that there is a limit to how much influence they actually have on American people. In practical terms, what this means is that whatever maximum limit of new supporters of the left wing ideas in the United States have existed and were possible to get through the social media and new platforms means have been gathered so far. And the other part of the people who watch the content of left wing online media are just hate watchers, as I'm going to show to you in a second. But now that Trump has won and he's going to be president in 2028, my question is, are they going to continue doing the same things? Meaning, are they going to cover every single stupid Donald Trump scandal for the next 4 years up until 2028? And is it surprising for anybody that a lot of these YouTubers right now, David Pacman and Luke Bleasley and all of the others, have already reported that they're losing subscribers, they're losing um, paid subscriptions, and they're going to start losing views also, although there is a caveat to that. I'm going to go to that in a second. But the reason they're losing support is because people don't want to suffer again for 4 years through daily slog of Trump scandals, which eventually are going to lead to what? Democrats are not going to win, or they're going to win against whoever is next in the opposing Republican side. But if it if they're not, they have lost the chance to win against Donald Trump again. He only lost to Joe Biden because of the pandemic and all the other stuff, and he lost narrowly. But now uh, people are losing faith in the left wing online media because they don't want to go through the life of consuming daily depressing content of Donald Trump scandals, which probably are going to be worse from now on. And people don't want to deal with that. That's why people log out of politics. But do they really need to watch content like this on daily content like this on daily basis just to know what to vote for in the midterms elections in 2026, or to not vote Republican in 2028? Do they really need to consume political online left-wing media content on daily basis to do that? The answer is no. I'm gonna use a slight example here with the uh, American three strikes baseball rule. Okay, let's say I know nothing about American politics and I start following since Trump won in 2016. Okay, so first he starts bitching and moaning and complaining and going on and on about his inauguration crowd after he won. Okay, strike one. he dropped the mother of all bombs or something in another country which had no casualties or anything, but he just did that because he wanted to brag or something. He wanted to just see what was gonna happen, okay, as a precaution or something. But this is something he should have prevented, in my opinion. This is my point of view. Okay, this is strike two. And then at some point he said that he wanted to nuke a hurricane or something. That was a rumor. He didn't say that in an interview from what I remember. Okay, this is strike three. I don't need, after have these three strikes or whatever three Trump scandals you can possibly imagine from this clown, I do not need to follow news about this idiot on daily basis years and years after that to know that I'm not going to vote for him and I'm not going to support him, and whatever is going to whatever is it is the thing that he's going to be is going to be terrible. I can just live my life, do something else, be productive for my life, not follow American politics. I mean, I'm not American, but you get what I'm saying, right? And still get to the same conclusion that I have to not vote for Donald Trump as people who follow politics on daily basis. So what is the difference in that sense? Why do people have to suffer and be depressed for years to come by following left-wing media who just grinds Trump daily outrage content? I mean, they're not wrong. I'm not saying that what Trump is doing shouldn't be reported in any way. But how effective, my question is, how effective is that in terms of people making the correct choice? Okay. How many Trump scandals people have to suffer through to know that they're not going to vote for him or support him or he's a terrible person, right? Like how many of like uh, anger uh, anger management classes people have to go through on daily basis to have to suffer to that for several years now. Like that's not a mentally healthy way to live your life, right? And like I said, you can get to the same conclusion without having to follow left-wing online politics on daily basis. And people like Jen Yuger, for example, from the Turks, he bitches about the mainstream media and how bad they are at their job on daily basis on his show. But a lot of the left-wing online content is basically reactionary videos to news that come from mainstream media. So, and as we already established, left-wing online media has reached the peak of its effectiveness. People who watch their videos and agree with what they're saying, they're already not going to vote Republican anyway. So, what is it that you're good at, actually, left-wing online media? Uh, Trump won the second time, and that happened on your watch. Okay, people have the right to be disenfranchised, to be despondent, and to be angry and unsubscribing from your channels, not because they hate you per se, but because they do not want to be continually exposed to this slog of scandals that they have to follow on 7 days a week for years to come. Okay, this is not very hard to understand, right? Do you agree with me? Write down in the comment section below. But this is not the main thing that I actually want to talk about. I want to talk about the fact that some of the people who support Donald Trump, this real life Pennywise, who is going to be in the White House for another 4 years, a convicted criminal, adjudicated sexual assaulter, um, all sorts of financial crimes and stuff like that. But he is, for a lot of people, he is a blunt instrument to make people on the other side feel bad, as I'm going to show in a second. A lot of people voted for him in 2016 for that reason, but also now because of a lot of the online right-wing influencers who, very importantly, do not necessarily cover politics on daily basis, like Joe Rogan and that piece of crap Dean Ross, for example, and Jake Paul, of course. But there are people like that. There are people who support Donald Trump because they want to see people on the other side cry, and because they want to see how, as it is popular in the gaming circles, if you follow the news there, they want to see how uh, they want to consume a content that basically says to them and screams to them, woke has failed today. In today's woke failed news, you can see this: Donald Trump wins the presidency, and the Young Turks have a meltdown, and David Pacman bitches about his subscriber numbers and his paid subscribers and stuff like that. And today, yeah, you can enjoy this content. Tomorrow, you can enjoy another episode in the drama about Assassin's Creed Shadows or um, Dragon Age Veilguard. It starts to fizzle out, but the next episode is probably going to be the Game Awards, and which woke games are going to be awarded, how they do not deserve that, or on the other side, how non-woke games are awarded and they're owning the woke games. And like this is what a lot of people like this enjoy to watch on a daily basis. And although I don't have any scientific evidence for that, I'm absolutely sure, and that's one of the reasons I'm making this video, is that there are people like that who are going to go as far as to vote for a president in the American elections because they want to see people on the other side cry. So let me show you a couple of screenshots here to illustrate for you what I mean. So these screenshots I took from the Kamala Harris's concession speech. By the way, she's done. She's never going to be the candidate again. And my guess is that, unfortunately, they're not going to run another woman on as a candidate for president on the Democratic side. But uh, you see, like 1, 2, 3 women are crying and or are almost crying. Here are 2 Taylor Swift supporters who are also crying. By the way, Kamala Harris was supported by Taylor Swift, Eminem, Obama, LeBron freaking James, and a myriad of other people. So, in terms of influencer management, content creation, engagement style things, I think in these collaboration strategies, people need to rethink about how these endorsements actually translate to um, voting, which in this context means call to action, because there are a lot of like really high tier celebrities which have a lot of online following supporting Kamala Harris, and nothing came from that. Okay, so or it's questionable how much it actually made a difference. Whereas on the right side, Joe Rogan and all the other people, I'm not gonna list them again, but there are people on the right side who just would vote for president just to see these pictures right here. Just it was in 2016, like the girl with the cap that was crying on Times Square. She didn't look very right in the head, in my opinion. She looked a little bit like she's, as they say in Game of Thrones, slightly touched. But nevertheless, she's immortalized in memes, all sorts of memes online, how she cries and she feels bad because she's woke or whatever. Okay. So yeah, this is another picture of women who cry on the Kamala Harris's concession speech. Okay, where she basically admitted she lost. Look at I'm not somebody who enjoys. I enjoy watching people like Johnny Sumari getting their colors filled, as they say in the United Kingdoms. Shoutouts to the United Kingdom. Uh, Getting your colors filled basically means getting beaten up. So I enjoy when people like Johnny Sumari get beaten up, or when Andrew Tate gets arrested and goes into a Romanian prison. But I don't enjoy watching regular people just cry and feel bad like that. That's just wrong. I probably disagree with them on a lot of things, but I don't want to uh, see them feel bad. But there are a lot of people who probably voted for Donald Trump just to see that. However, here I am to tell you that, um, in my opinion, these people can be flipped, because the desire to vote for somebody, to go as far as to vote for somebody just to see the other people feel bad, that is flimsy, superficial motivation. Okay, the desire to go into a live stream and see how people have a meltdown, the Young Turks, I mean, is also very superficial. I mean, I understand the incentive, but it's not for them. It's not really that serious. Okay, and they see the voting for president as also not that serious. They see that as an incentive to have content to watch of how woke people have a bad day, basically. Here I'm going to show you another example. Just bear with me here for a second. This is specifically for the YouTube space. And again, shout outs to my boy Kyle Kolinsky. He's awesome, but look at the view counts of his videos, guys. Okay, so he has, let's go here. Okay, okay, so here he has almost a half a million views. 160 here has a half a million, but most of his videos do not hit that high numbers. Okay, but now when you go to his just before the election results early post reaction, okay, he has half a million views here, guys. And that is because if you have to if you have to guess why he has so many views, is yes, because people enjoy watching him have a meltdown. Okay, this age like Biden. Look at the comments. 5 hours and this video already has an age well. I pressed like here because I like Kyle, but this is just funny. Okay, updates if there's anything 15 hours later, silence. This aged instantly. So there are a lot of people going here just to. This is one example. Just to see how people like Kyle feel bad. But these people can be convinced otherwise, guys. This is the serious point I want to make. If grinding Trump outrage content on daily basis hasn't worked for 8 years at this point, maybe you should try something different. I cannot do. I'm a nobody on the internet. I cannot do this. I'm not gonna do this here. Also because I want to do videos about video games, Japanese culture, anime, and stuff like that. But the way to reach these people is not through telling them that on daily basis that Trump is bad. They probably don't care how many convictions he has or how terrible he is, something like that. They either do not care, or it is that they know and they still don't care because he's a somebody who is like I said, a real life Pennywise, and they see the woke people uh, as the losers group who are about to get stomped, right? So you cannot go at them by using political arguments from the get-go. The fact is, my theory is, and I'm absolutely sure that I'm correct, you have to engage with people on the other side through pop culture, period. Okay? You have to connect to them through pop culture, through modern culture that is not connected to politics. Okay? Because as I explained before, their interest in politics are superficial and surface level to begin with. And that is because in all of their other daily activities, they do not care about politics. They watch movies, play video games, uh, I don't know, watch TikTok and like watch Instagram e-thought models or something. But my point is that they do something else outside of consuming political content. The only time they really consume political content is when they get to watch woke people get owned. And although I'm not a person like that, I understand what the sentiment is. I'm from a small country in Eastern Europe, and here on all the hardcore PC gamer pages, there were already memes the moment Donald Trump won. There were already memes how he owns the lips, and the same people were sharing before like scandals about Dragon Age Veilguard on daily, hourly basis, right? So this is another point to my fellow other people outside of the US. Guys, no matter how you view things, okay, doesn't really matter what your viewpoint is. American politics do affect countries in the world, everywhere. Okay, in my country, we just had a couple of weeks ago. We had our seventh election in less than 3 years. Okay, nobody knows about it. Nobody cares. But we have a Trump-like figures here also, who are looking at the right-wing movement in the United States as a blueprint of what to do and how to act out there, right? So, um, American culture wars are very exportable, is what I'm trying to say in this portion of the video, okay? But let me go back to what I was saying previously. These certain people on the right wing who are not that serious can be flipped on the other side, but you have to use means of pop culture. Mm. People who watch Joe Rogan do not consume politics on daily basis. They are right wing, but they do not consume political news on daily basis. Joe Rogan do not cover political news on daily basis. He only does that when there is clout on the subject, right? He covers UFC, he covers bodybuilding, he had at some point he had Michio Kaku as a guest in his show. He had Neil deGrasse Tyson, he had a lot of other scientists, and they were interesting to watch. I'm never gonna take political advice from Joe Rogan, or even to a lesser extent medical advice from that freaking guy. Okay, but the guests on his show are interesting, and that is why he's popular, because he doesn't cover politics on daily basis. Okay, when he has to cover it, he just, in my opinion, caters to what his core audience wants, and his core audience is very big. And the same thing goes for Jake Paul, from all the other right wing influencers. And on the left side, the the news outlets, they're just not as powerful, or they're either not just as powerful, or they have reached the limit of their uh, possible useful productivity in terms of convincing people on the other side what is right and wrong in the United States. Okay, so the right way to go is talking to these people through the means of pop culture. Hey, you, Michael, okay, let me tell you why Judd is one of the best characters in Berserk. I can talk for 20 minutes about why Judd is one of the best characters in Berserk. So let's have a conversation about that. Hey, Josh, let me tell you why in Hellsing, a battle between Alucard and the lieutenant from Millennium, the character who is based on the Hans Günsche, let me tell you how this fight would have been cooler rather than the fight between Alucard and Alexander Anderson. Or how would I rather have Alexander Anderson fight Walter, the young Walter, and Alucard fights the lieutenant? And you might say, Josh might say, whoa, you're not correct, or F you, or something like that. But that's a way in which we can have a conversation. I can talk about things like this for hours on end. Or if somebody says, hey, Assassin's Creed Shadows, let me tell you why today Assassin's Creed Shadows is a woke garbage. And I'm like, internally, I'm rolling my eyes, like, okay, dude, like, you don't have to explain this for 800 times. So at this point, let's have a more productive conversation about. But okay, I'm gonna hear you out. Then I'm going to tell you why Ghost of Yote is actually a cool game. And 20 minutes later, we can talk about the relationship, the foreign politics relationship between the United States and Japan, and United States and China. This is the way to make leeway with other people, not to pontificate upon them from the get-go with current day news about American politics. To quote here a verse of the song of Jafar from the Aladdin animation part 2. Let me pontificate upon your sorry state, you're only second rate. So, in other words, the moment you start talking to these people about these topics, they see and hear it as if you're automatically saying, I'm smarter than you and you're stupid, and let me tell you why you're a stupid person, and by implication, why I'm a smart person. That is why some people hate wokeism on the left side. Some of the reason people hate wokeism is way overboard and way overblown, in my opinion. But some of these reasons are just born from the lack of understanding of how people should approach topics like this. And the correct way is, please believe me, it is through pop culture. It is through pop culture. Um, I I cannot do anything about it. Obviously, my channel is very small. Probably like 50 people gonna watch this video. But from me as an influencer manager, as a content manager, as a community manager, what I can tell you is that what I imagine the figure that embodies what I just explained to you as to be, it's some kind of a mixture between Asmongold, Joe Rogan, and somebody like either Destiny or Sam Harris. Somebody who is like Asmongold but more on the left side of things, right? Somebody who covers news about video games and video game scandals and video game industry scandals on a daily basis, but he's going to cover an interview from Tim Waltz or Bernie Sanders if he's not going to run probably, but whenever something like this happens, he's going to cover it, maybe talk about American left-wing politics once a week for 10 or 15 minutes in a video, or for half an hour in a stream, which is going to be making a 10-minute video. But Hassan cannot do this. Hassan has also reached the limit of his potential influence. He has tens of thousands of viewers every single time he streams. But these are either people who already agree with him, or people who, like me, on occasion, who just don't really watch him but have him on the background just to see how his chat reacts to certain things. I have a way to discern things like that. But so, for example, let me tell you, Hassan has the bad ratio of the model that I'm talking about. Uh, he's probably going to cover the Game Awards, right? And he's going to cover a trailer of a hot new video game when it drops. But it's like the ratio between him covering video games and politics is going to be 99 to 1 or something. And I'm not saying that he should go more into that direction or anything like that, but like I said, like if you only talk about politics, there is a limit to which how many people on the other side of the aisle who support the terrible person who is going to be president of the United States. There's a limit to how many people like that you can actually reach. And since all of the left-wing media has been covering Donald Trump for something that is closing up to a decade at this point, it is clear they are not as effective and as productive as they need to be, and as people who watch their content want them to be. Okay? You cannot do this only through politics. You have to use pop culture. That is my opinion. I I really feel bad for people in the United States who feel despondent and outraged by what happened. I'm sorry. I wish I could say anything better than what I just said. I just want to have a productive thought and say something that I think might be helpful. I don't want to just say positive things with no point. I think the United States is going to survive this. I'm worried about the foreign politics of the United States to some extent, but Democrats are not going to change. Every time Democrats have been established as the results are now like the party of the elite. Every time you run an election in which you have the bourgeois class versus the common folk, in an election, the common folk are going to win every time just because there are more of them. Okay, that doesn't mean that all of them are stupid or they cannot be convinced otherwise, but you just need to use the correct strategies and the correct approach. And you cannot use all day politics approach to people who only on occasion care about politics or to people who are going to go as far as to vote in an election just to see people cry, uh, then see the reactions, and then 2 or 3 months later they're not going to follow what's going on. They're not going to follow whether or not Trump is going to fulfill his pledges. Spoiler that he's not, or whether or not the their life has improved or gotten worse based on the American politics. They just do this to consume anti woke, uh, train wreck, enjoyment, release valve, whatever you want to call it, content in this moment. But specifically because this type of content is, this type of enjoyment is surface level, they can they can be reasoned with by using the means of pop culture, video games, TV shows, anime, music, social media news, whatever you want. You just have to use this leeway to at least be able to talk to them. Okay, you cannot go. You can't open the door with politics. That's not going to work for these people. I understand that some people cannot be flipped in any way, shape, or form. The so-called too far gones. Yes, these people exist, but it's not productive to try and think about them and try to like get depressed about why they are in the way they are and how many of them there are. You need to be able to have conversation with people who actually can be convinced, and there are a lot of them. Trust me, this is my opinion as a foreigner. You can discount it as you want, but believe me when I say this, that I have your best, I have my best intentions for the United States. And the reason I have this channel is because I want to talk to people in America, um, as well as other English speakers, of course. But it has been a lot of years, guys, and the left wing media has failed a lot of people in the United States, and there should be some kind of accountability for that. I'm sorry that you have to suffer Donald Trump for now 4 years, but I hope that the United States get better on the other side. Okay, this is all I had to say. This was white soul wine from Greece. Um, I want to raise my glass and cheer people in the United States that have faith in the future. And I wish you good luck in the battles ahead, guys. Cheers. I'll see you in the next video.